Hi there, homespun friends. It is Sherry, and it's great to see you today. As you can see, Mimi is in her chicken apron, and I have been hard at work in my kitchen doing different things today. And I was going to film a video in there for you of the easiest bread machine pizza dough you can imagine. But the lighting was so poor, and this recipe is so simple. I think I'm just going to do what I did when I talked to you about the sandwich bread. And I will leave the recipe to this bread machine pizza dough in that little description box below so that you will have it. It is super simple. I have already made one batch today. Let me show it to you. Here it is. I made it. I took it out of the bread machine. Now you set that bread machine on the dough cycle, and then you take the dough out, and you can use it right away. You can pop it in your refrigerator and use it within 24 to 36 hours or so. Or if you want to use it next week or next month, you can actually freeze it. And pizza dough freezes very well, and you can use it up to 3 to 4 months later. You know, you might want to use it within that period of time. And so this is the pizza dough. It smells so, so good, and I'm going to be having this tonight for dinner. And so what is required for this pizza dough? Now let me tell you, it's just super simple. Super simple. I dumped the ingredients in the bread machine in this order. A cup of water, and you kind of want that water to be warm. It sort of helps activate that yeast a little bit. You don't want it too hot, but I just like to make it a little bit warm. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, a 1/3 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 3 cups of bread flour. I'll pause here. You know that I like King Arthur bread flour. It's my favorite just shelf-bought bread flour. But if you have all-purpose, it's okay. Like, you don't have to make a special run to the store for bread flour. If you have all-purpose at home, just use that. And then 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. 6 ingredients: water, oil, salt, sugar, flour, and yeast. That's it. Pop it in your bread machine, turn it on the dough cycle. In 1.5 hours, my dough is done. I take it out. This batch that you might hear occasionally spinning back there in my kitchen, it's gonna go in my freezer, and I'll probably make one more batch. So I'll have 2 pizza doughs back there in my freezer, and this makes a really large pizza for you. And you might think, well, you know, in my house, I'm a single person, there's just one of me. Great. Take that pizza dough, divide it in half, put 1/2 in the freezer, use the other half for your supper tonight. You know, you can make a smaller pizza. You can divide it into thirds. Let's say you're having 2 grandchildren come to visit you, and you would like to have a little pizza bar for them. Then just take that dough and divide it into 3 sections and pat out a little small pizza for each of you. People can put their own favorite ingredients on it, and it would make for a fun dinner for you. I really love the versatility of using this pizza dough. Now, what kind of things do I put on there? Well, before I talk to you about that, let me tell you how I do this crust when I get ready to bake it, because I think that's the #1 thing I want to pop in here. When I get ready to make it, like this evening, what I'll do is I'll pull this out of the refrigerator. It's been in the refrigerator. I'll pull it out and let it sit there for 15 or 20 minutes while I'm preheating my oven to 450. I'll put my pan or stone in there. You can use any type of pan or stone you like. You can use a cookie sheet. You can use a round pizza pan. You can use the Pampered Chef stone. That's what I have. And so you're going to put that in there to preheat with your oven. When it beeps, pull it out, get your dough, and pat it out into your pan, just being extra careful because that pan or stone is going to be hot. And so you pat that dough out and make it into your shape, and then pierce it, the bottom of it a little bit with a fork, and then pop it back in there for about 5 to 6 minutes. That 5 to 6 minute pre-bake is very important for pizza crust. It will keep your crust from being doughy and gooey and kind of gummy. If you've ever made pizza where the crust was not pre-baked, you'll know it because it has a certain texture to it that I don't care for. So pre-bake, just 5 to 6 minutes, that pizza crust. Take it back out and then begin to put on your different ingredients. Now you can put any sauce that you want to on there. You can use Alfredo sauce or anything. We really love spaghetti sauce. Our regular spaghetti sauce that we make at home, we love to put that on our pizza as well. And then we can top it with, of course, it has to have cheese. It has to have cheese on there. but sometimes we put pepperoni. If I don't have pepperoni, we might use some other type of meat. You don't have to use meat at all. You can open up a can of chicken and drain it and just sprinkle that chicken around and put cheese on top. That would be delicious, even with some pineapple on there or peppers on there. Earlier today, I made bacon, and I made a little extra bacon because I knew I was going to have pizza tonight. And so I'll crumble that bacon. It's just a little, and I'll sprinkle that around that pizza. Not only that, but a couple of days ago, I used a recipe that called for mild Italian sausage, the ground Italian sausage. And so I took about a third cup of that out when I cooked it, and I put that in a little glass bowl, and I thought in a couple days I'm going to have a homemade pizza, and I'm going to add that sausage on the top of that pizza. So we'll have a little bit of sausage, a little bit of bacon, onions and peppers and cheese. That's probably what's going on ours for tonight. But that's what's so great about pizza is you can put anything. You can put black olives, green olives, broccoli, cauliflower, some kind of greens on there. You can put kale on it. You can just put anything that you want to. Corn, black beans, whatever you want to go on your pizza. And it's a versatile food, wonderful to keep in that freezer. So what do you do if you put the dough in the freezer? Well, the night before you think you might want to use it, go ahead and pull that out into your refrigerator and let it begin to thaw. If you pop up in the morning to go to work and you think, oh, I meant to put that dough ball in the refrigerator and I forgot, just go ahead and do it. Because really, to be honest, it doesn't take that long for the pizza dough to thaw, and you'll probably be just fine. So go ahead either the night before or early that morning, put that pizza dough from the freezer into your refrigerator, and when you get ready to make dinner, it should be ready to go. Just pull it out of the refrigerator and let it sit out for 20 to 30 minutes before you pat it into its shape on that hot stone or pan, and you will be great. So this is how I try to plan ahead for having little meals at home. My husband and I have noticed, maybe you have, I've talked to my mom and dad about this, and also talked to my daughters about it, how so many foods are not only more expensive when you buy them out, but they're not as good as they used to be. Does anybody else have that experience? I would like to know how you feel about that in the comments below. Like if you go out to eat sometimes, have you noticed that the food just doesn't taste quite as maybe the same as it once did? It doesn't have the same flavor. The quality is not as good. I don't know what is causing that, but it seems like when we go out to eat now, it's more and more expensive, and then the quality is not so great. And we have found, and my husband has told me this, when we eat at home, I digest it better, I like it better, it tastes better, and believe it or not, it's cheaper. And so it's nice to have a delicious meal at home. It just means that sometimes we have to do a little bit more preparation. You have to buy those ingredients. You have to keep things on hand. You have to always be thinking ahead or making a meal plan. I've never been very good at meal plans since my kids left home. When my kids were young, I always had in mind the next 3 days or 4 days of food that I had planned out, and I could shift that around if something changed. But once they got grown and gone and it was just the two of us, we became much more flexible about, oh, we'll just grab something, or what's your schedule today? I'll just do this. And so I didn't really plan as well. And planning is something I think I'm going to have to get back to as I do some more cooking at home. So friends, do you make your own homemade pizzas? Have you priced frozen pizzas at the grocery store lately? Because I did last week and I was mind blown. We don't always buy pizzas from the frozen section at the grocery store. We have some in the past, and they would be like $3.99 or $4.99. Now pizzas are $8, $12, $14 for just a pizza you pull out of the freezer. I'm like, this is insane. What's happening to the price of groceries? I'm just so surprised by it all. So certainly making your own dough and fixing your own foods at home is a better way to go for affordability, for taste, and probably for your health overall. You're not going to have all those preservatives that we often find in foods that we buy ready-made. Friends, it has been a joy to sit and talk to you today about pizzas and prices and just our little corner of life. It's always fun to touch base with you about anything that we have to chat about. I'll look forward to having this kind of chat next time. Love you all. Bye-bye.